We're about to begin our session at Success and Attracting New Members. Today, we will have three panelists that will be presenting tonight, which is Javier Florez, Avi Roy, Elizabeth Ruiz. Good evening and welcome, everyone. How was the International Speech Contest? What great speeches they were. My first speaker is Abhishek Roy Chowdhury. Avi is certified in various technical and project management areas. Performance-driven technocraft with experience in managing projects, collaborating with project teams, and employing processes and procedures to build successful solutions. Playing a key role to implement industry-driven innovative solutions and managing fluid delivery model with the highest standard of service delivery execution. Successfully created a team culture with emphasis on empowerment, accountability, efficiency, and strong competency in all focus areas. Established a global technology and implementation model and organized industry, based a competency solutions to deliver best-in-class service. Welcome, Avi Roy.
Thank you, Cassie. Good evening, everybody. I am so excited to share my experience being in Toastmaster, as well as driving various initiatives that did not only help me, but everyone else. Because Toastmaster is such a platform that we all grow with each other and we can share so much of knowledge. I joined in 2019 in a club called Southwest Project Management Toastmasters Club, and immediately joined a second club, which is Sweet Talkers Toastmasters. Now, right now I'm playing the role of a president of Southwest and VP of membership in Sweet Talkers. Both these clubs are in Division M, and we have a wonderful leadership team in Division M with Luz Babadia as the area director and our wonderful division director, Shala Ozen. One thing we got, let me put this way, one thing that was really energizing to us, especially me as the VPM for Sweet Talkers, is the motto that Division M Shala wanted us to follow. Members matters most, and how that helped me to become a better functionary, a better club officer, and on top of it, a better Toastmaster. And let me tell you, last 7 to 8 months on my period being a VPM, boy, it was hard. And it was interesting, a lot of interesting things. Now, let me tell you, I plan to divide this conversation in 5 parts. And when I was given this opportunity to serve the club, the area, the division, and the district, being the VPM, connect with new former members, it was a huge privilege that I feel. I wanted to get into this activity by planning how I can achieve success. I jotted down 5 key points that might help me be a good VPM, a good president, and on top of it, a good Toastmaster. So the 5 things that I followed, number 1, understand the purpose of the club, purpose of the new member who wants to join the club. Number 2, the challenge. We have hit an unprecedented situation here, commonly known as COVID-19. Everything is different. There is no rule book. There is no reference guide on which we can have our game planned. This is everything new, and we have to put the dice on. Let's see what we get from there. But that was a challenge. Number 3, and this is something I personally felt, unique proposition of every club. And I'll talk about it a little bit more. Number 4, how we can bring in former members back to the club. And finally, number 5, which is very important as a VPM, as a club president, pulse check what your members are feeling right now about the club, about the Toastmaster experience. Quickly jump onto all my points. Number 1, understanding the purpose as a VPM, as a president, and especially being the VPM of Sweet Talkers Club. It was, again, as I mentioned, it's a privilege because I get to talk to so many new people wanting to be part of Toastmaster journey. So I need to understand your purpose. Purpose meaning what as a club we offer everyone. What as a member or new member I want to gain. For example, when before 2019, I did not know the potential of a Toastmaster club. But what drew me in, being in my professional world, when I stand on a stage and I start speaking, I just go blank. And it might be a common experience for many of you here. I thought, how can I overcome that? Somebody told me, go and join a Toastmaster club. The first day I walked into a Toastmaster club, I just signed up right then because I figured out this may be the help I was looking for. And it did. It really did. So when I am trying to sell Toastmaster to a new member, I take 2 things in my carry bag. As a club, how I can help you. As a member, what are you looking for? And then we connect the dots. Every VPM has their own, every president has their own way of saying, but that's how I feel like, this is something I like to go for. Now, second thing is the challenge. Because this is a COVID situation, we are in a level playing field. What I mean by that is, earlier the selling point to anyone was, okay, we are in Sugarland, we are in West PLN. What does it mean? The nearest club. Right now, click a button and you go and join a Toastmaster club, which is common for everybody. You're sitting on your couch, one evening you wanna go and explore, let's say India, using a Toastmaster club, you can do that. That's something it's happening today. So as a VPM, it's really hard to tell somebody why you want to be part of a Toastmaster club. But that's something you have to deal with. And that's something as a Toastmaster, you need to be open to have that conversation. That brings us to my third point, that is the unique proposition. What makes your club unique? There are many clubs that is focusing on one specific area, one specific technology, or sometimes they say like our club is only specific for this category. And there are clubs which is open and general. So it is very important to understand as a VPM, as a president, how you plan to position yourself. Because as I mentioned, it's an open playing field right now. To me, I thought there are many members, new members who wants to go out and visit different clubs who are unique. So if you have that proposition with you, you can talk, you can understand what the member wants. But there are different members who are tired of being into unique clubs. They want something which is a generic Toastmaster club. So you can always talk to them and bring them and grow your membership from them. My fourth point, and I'll try to wrap up really quick here. My fourth point is how you can bring back former members. Very less, or let's say handful of former Toastmasters have bad experience with Toastmaster, none to my experience. Nobody ever has a bad experience with a Toastmaster International. Majority of the time, why a member leaves? Because of conflict, they move to a different location, or sometimes a financial situation. It's our responsibility sometimes to dig into that and try to help them. If you bring back the former members, it's very, very helpful to your club because they have the knowledge and the power to make sure you are successful, your club is successful. So try always make sure to have your former members also back to your club. And I tried that to bring them back and it was very successful. Finally, the pulse check. No matter how many times you go and sell the club or sell how great Toastmaster is, their experience needs to live up to that. So every time for us from Sweet Talkers Southwest, we have one-on-one with our members and understand how can we help you to achieve what you wanted from the club. And it had been a great experience, learning experience, and a very, very solid growth path from there. I hope these few points were really helpful for you because it was immensely helpful for me. And we can always grow together on this. Madam Chair, back to you.
Thanks, Avi. Let's give Avi a round of applause. Our next speaker is Elizabeth Ruiz at Success at Attracting New Members. Within 24 hours, Elizabeth went from attending a Toastmaster Lunch and Learn to becoming a sponsor and a charter president of a new club. Within 5 months, the club went on to successfully add 10 more new members, earned the Talk Up Toastmasters Award, and become President Distinguished. She joined to polish her public speaking skills, but helping others to learn and grow is why she stays. Elizabeth has served as an area director, a co-chair of many events, a club coach, a club sponsor, a club mentor, and all the club officer roles. She is a member of 6 clubs and have completed 7 pathways and successfully attracted and sponsored 24 new members since last year. Elizabeth Ruiz.
Thank you so much, Cassie. Welcome, everyone, and fellow speakers. I'm going to dive right in and share my screen. By a raise of hands, who here has seen or read or used the membership growth book here? It is chock full of information. I have dived into it and highlighted it. It works really well. These documents I'm speaking of, I put a lot of the links in the question and answer section of our portal in the Whova app. One question was, how do we find out what our potential members is all about? Well, you can use a member interest survey to ask those questions. Also, when you have a new member, this is also in the chat, is an orienting new member document. It's 4 pages, and step 1 of that is this document here, a new member profile. It is fabulous to use to gather information on each of your member. And why is this important? It is so important to find out about the specifics of all your new members. Each member that is coming into Toastmasters, they're all different. And we really should find out who they are, what they want, and how we can help them. My next demonstration here is if you've missed the how to produce a virtual open house. It was recorded. It is in the Online Leadership Electives District 56 video. I placed a link in the Q&A section as well. And with this virtual open house video, it's a 1-hour session. I created a Google Share Drive, and the link to that Google Share Drive is also in the Q&A, and it's filled with about 40 different files that I've placed in there. I put it to the test of the virtual open house to one of the clubs I'm a member of, and I created an event on the LinkedIn page that we created for one of the clubs. And we received 54 guests just from the LinkedIn event alone. What is so special about this? Well, after they RSVP, you have access to who they are from the attendees. It will tell you 50 of those were from my connections. 2 of them were from the personal training and coaching industry. 19 were from the greater Houston area. And these are the 53 different attendees. Why is it 53 instead of 54? Because I was the 54th that RSVP'd. And this tells you who they are and how you can message them. It's great information. There's another portal that you can use to acquire a list of people who are interested in your club. And who here uses meetup.com? I see a lot of the clubs in District 56 on Meetup. And if you're not using it, watch how great this one link is. For example, this is another club I'm a member of, Greenway Plaza. We currently have 51 people who like our Meetup page, and this is filled with information. You can download a member list right here. Once you download that member list, it gives it in an Excel spreadsheet. It will tell you their name, their location, the date that they joined your group, which is like the Meetup page, the last time they visited, the last time they attended, how many times they RSVP'd, yes, no, maybe, no shows, did they do an intro? And then this is a link to their member profile. This is a great outlet for you to reach potential members to join your club. Why is this important? If you're using free Toast, I highly recommend utilizing all social media links and placing them on the main page of your website. For example, if you have a Facebook page, you can also create events on your Facebook page as well. It is a great way to get new members. Always reach out to the guests, and you can also utilize it to congratulate the new members. For example, we had our 6th new member this month join Greenway Plaza, and we always create every week what our theme was, the word of the day, who the best speaker, best table topics, the best evaluator. We say hello to our guests. And then we always welcome our new member here. And the very following meeting, we always have a new member induction, and we make it a big hoopla. It's so important because they will now feel very special, very important, and part of the family, and they will share it with their family and friends who might want to also join your club. The last part I wanted to talk about is the importance of Speechcraft. I've purchased 5 digital Speechcrafts, and so far the 2 that I've implemented have sold out, and it has increased membership by 5 new members in 2 clubs. That is what helped our area become distinguished, by having these new members. How did we do it? You can ask up to $90 for a Speechcraft. They're called Speechcrafters. We offered it for the price of a 6-month membership. Plus, we took the price of Speechcraft and divided it by 5. So for $75.13, they were members for 6 months, and they received their digital Speechcraft of 8 sessions. And that is how 2 clubs instantly had 5 new members. But in the Speechcraft, it gives you all the marketing programs that you need. It has digital fillable PDFs. It has a marketing plan, and you can go right into it. It's just like a pathway section. It gives you all the agendas. It's very hands-on. It's very friendly. And I highly recommend using the digital Speechcraft, where you can instantly gain 5 new members in your club. Back to you, Cassie. Thank you.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Let's give Elizabeth a round of applause. Our next speaker is Javier Florez. He's a DTM 5 times, has been a Toastmaster for 12 years. He began his journey at Firm Speakers Toastmaster Club, was a founder of Blue Frog Toastmaster Club, has participated in several additional clubs, and most recently is acting as the Vice President of Education for Pathway of Professional Speakers. He has participated in several district leadership roles and is always eager to help and support our Toastmaster community and beyond. The aspect of Toastmaster that he values most is the opportunity to support and witness the growth of his peers while personally growing at the same time. Toastmasters has given him the opportunity to enhance his consultant skills professionally, conduct technical and motivational presentations for several organizations, hold improvisational comedy workshops, and develop lifelong friendships with cherished people of similar values and compassion. Javier Florez.
Thank you, Cassie. Good evening, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here. I hope that everybody's been enjoying this conference thoroughly, and thank you for demonstrating that you are committed to growing membership, because obviously after seeing the speech contest, that means that you're a truly dedicated Toastmaster, and we appreciate you being here. As you can see, the approach that we've taken is Avi, Elizabeth, and myself wanted to share with you our common background of what we consider to be important from a membership growth standpoint. And as you can see, there are things that overlap, and there are also things that some of us have a strength in. I really appreciate the fact that Elizabeth shared all of those resources, because that's something valuable that you can take with you. And Avi's perspective from the experiences that he's had is very valuable, and his enthusiasm is incredible. So these are people that you can grow from, and I hope that I'll be able to provide the same. So the approach that I'm going to take is I created a checklist that I've done for other presentations for clubs to help them learn how to grow membership. And I'm going to go briefly through those, but there's more detail to the information that I'm providing. So what I'm going to be doing is providing additional sessions over the next few weeks to try to help club members grow. So if you're interested in participating in one of the sessions that I provide, feel free to send me in the chat function, send me your email, and I'll send you that information. And I'm also going to try to disseminate that information through our district leadership and post it on our Facebook group, so you can get that information from there in the future. Because what I do is I go into this information in a lot more detail, but I'll just cover some of the main tips that are included within that checklist. And from my perspective, there's 3 different things that people face as a challenge to growing membership. And one is the lack of knowledge of how to do it, not understanding what resources there are, what you can do to grow membership. And that's what we hope to cover today, is provide you with that information. So hopefully that will help you out, and especially with the information that you can follow up on that Elizabeth has posted. The other part is the lack of asking for the membership, or like they say, closing the sale. From my experience of visiting several clubs, what I've noticed is that a lot of clubs will share in the meeting that they have, and then they don't ask for the membership. They don't ask for those guests to become a member at the end of the meeting. They don't follow up with them sometimes. And sometimes it's from just not doing it. Sometimes it's from the fear that you're going to be too pushy with people. But what I say to that is, anytime that you are trying to sell or convince or motivate someone about doing something, the reason why you do that is because you believe in it. So if you truly enjoy the Toastmaster experience, if you've gotten value from the Toastmaster experience, if you believe that that guest is going to get value from the Toastmaster experience, then there's no reason why you wouldn't ask them to, because it's the whole point of sharing in that experience and that opportunity for them to grow. That's the reason why you're there, the reason why they're there. So ask at the end of the meeting, ask them, would you like to be a member? Would you like to join? Follow up the next day with a phone call. How was your experience? You know, on a personal level, would you like to join? Let me share. Do you have any other questions? Let me share with you the process of how to sign up. Let me tell you about how the whole program begins, and you do your icebreaker, and it's a way for you to introduce yourself. So these are the things that will get you to have those members. So sometimes a lot of memberships are being lost because people are just not asking for the membership. And then the other challenge is either a lack of enthusiasm, initiative, or resistance. And that happens sometimes when clubs are struggling to hold meetings together. Maybe it's low membership, maybe it's a lack of understanding or a lack of leadership within the club. And so for those type of situations, what you want to do as the person that's here that's enthusiastic about learning is lead by example. So you be the one that takes the lead and asks the club, hey, let's try these things. Let's try to grow our membership by doing these different activities that have been recommended. And then get the next person that's also enthusiastic with you to join you. And then those two people can get another couple of people. And so you start building that enthusiasm for growing the membership and actually doing the things that you need to do. I think the biggest challenge would probably be is if you have resistance. Let's say you have an experienced leader that has a negative attitude or something along those lines. And that doesn't happen that often because Toastmasters is a very supportive environment, but occasionally it might. And in those situations, what you would probably want to do is reach out. You have support. So reach out to your area director, reach out to your division director, reach out to the other district leaders, reach out to us. So you have a lot of people available that can come in and help out and either provide presentations, meet with you during your executive council meetings. And these things can help you to start that path towards growing that membership and building that enthusiasm within the club. So as far as the checklist that I created, the first thing is, do you have information about your club available and clearly stated? So wherever you're going to talk to people about learning about your club, they're going to go to either your website, they're going to go to your social media, if you have pages or things of that nature, if you have a meetup. So wherever all that information is, make sure that it's accurate, clear, and simple. This is what Toastmasters is about. This is how you join our meeting. This is exactly when our meetings are. Because if you have cumbersome information that they can't sort through, they're probably not going to go visit your meeting. If they can't find how to get into your meeting, they're not going to go visit your meeting. If your, let's say, Free Toast host website that you had and you stopped using it back in 2017 reflects that that was the last time that people were on it, they may think that the club's not meeting anymore. So you need to make sure that that information is accurate. And then also that there's a contact that they'll be able to contact and that person is going to reply readily. Because if you have contact information that they try to reach out to and they don't reach anybody, or the person doesn't respond for a while, then you're probably going to lose that member or that potential guest, that potential member. So make sure that you have all of that accurate information and that somebody's going to be available to respond to those people. How are you letting people know about the club? So whenever you're letting your members know, be sure that they understand when your meetings are being held regularly. What you can do in the immediate sense of trying to get members immediately, as Avi mentioned as well, is reach out to your immediate members that haven't been coming to the meeting on a personal level. Give them a phone call. You know, what's been going on? Is there something going on? Can we, you know, is there anything that we can do to help you to be able to come back to the meeting? Same thing with past members. So you may have past members that you can reach out to and they may be interested in coming back to the club. And then also guests. So if you keep track of your guest information, you can always send them information later on because they may have attended and just couldn't at that moment in time, or they were busy. But if you reach back out to guests that have attended before, sometimes they're willing to join again. So in the immediate sense, those are members that you can quickly gain by simply making some phone calls. And you can do that either by distributing that amongst your executive team or figuring out that one person that's super enthusiastic and is really good and has good people skills, because that would be a good strategic way to go about trying to reach out to those individuals. How are you marketing the club? So are you talking to people about Toastmasters? The best way to get new members and guests to attend usually is on a personal invitation. So are you talking to your friends, family, people at work, people in other groups that you have? Sometimes you might be in a, for example, HOA association or something like that. And this would be an obviously valuable skill for members that are members of an HOA. So those are people that may be interested in joining a Toastmaster club. So are you talking to people? Sometimes I talk to people just randomly because I've gotten situations before where I'm at the grocery store, for whatever reason, I'm talking to somebody just whatever in line, and I mentioned about Toastmasters and they asked me, okay, well, let me know about it. And I sent them information. And I've gotten people to join Toastmasters just randomly by being at places, just talking to random people. So you never know, when you share what you know about and what you like and what you enjoy, people see the enthusiasm in what you're talking about. And sometimes they're, you know, a person that you may not have even known is interested in Toastmasters. So word of mouth is one of the best ways to be able to get guests to come. And then additionally, your marketing materials. So are you posting on social media and some of the things that Elizabeth talked about? Are you using those different tools like Evite and LinkedIn and creating these meeting invites, because you can generate a lot of people that way? Are you creating flyers that are also easy and simple to identify how to join the meeting. So all these things can help generate interest in attending the club. And then also you can do open houses and membership drives, which I'm not going to go into detail, but that's an opportunity for you to invite several people to learn about the club and be able to attend. And sometimes you can get guest speakers that are, for example, if it's a corporate company, if you get a top leadership person to come and speak at that open house or membership drive, then that'll attract a lot of people to come want to see that person. At Firm Speakers with Pam McCown, we were able to get Jim McInvale, Mattress Matt, to come out and speak for our club. And we had somewhere around 50 to 70 guests that came because obviously he's somebody that people want to come see. So that's something that you can definitely do to generate interest in coming out to learn about the club. And then also Speechcraft, which Elizabeth has an expertise in, and she's done that quite a bit, is another great opportunity to offer to members that or guests that may be interested in joining, and then as part of the process of doing the Speechcraft also become members. So that's a great way to do that. The other aspect is to make sure that you're providing guests with an accurate representation of the meeting. So you want to be able to hold good meetings so that when a guest comes to visit the club, they're able to see what they're actually going to get out of it. I've been to some meetings where there weren't speakers prepared, they didn't have an agenda prepared. And so if you can imagine, if a guest attends a meeting like that, they're not going to want to come back because they're going to think that this is a disorganized organization or event, and they're not going to understand. And then the other part is that whenever you're talking to that guest, find out why they're interested in Toastmasters. So I use the example of sometimes we just assume and just start talking and telling that person, hey, this is a great organization. You know what, for people that are super fearful, and they're intimidated from public speaking, it's a comfortable place to do it. It's just about you and your personal growth, and wherever you start is fine. And then that person will say, well, I'm actually a professional speaker right now, but I was just looking for a place to practice. And vice versa. You can tell a person, this is a great place. There's contestants that have won the world championship of public speaking, and they've gone on to do these 1-hour presentations, and they speak eloquently, and that person might think, oh, well, I guess that's not for me because I'm really afraid of public speaking, and I was just looking for a place to practice. So learn what they're interested in before you start promoting Toastmasters. Understand the value that they are looking for, and then relate to them what that meeting in Toastmasters has to offer that matches the value of what they're looking for, right? And like I said, ask for them to join. So whenever you're going to ask for them to join, have that application ready. Make sure that you have the accurate financial information as far as the dues that they need to pay ready, because people are always interested in joining something whenever they're enthusiastic about it. And so right at the end of a meeting, when they're enthusiastic about it, they're more likely to join. If they take a day or two to do that, to potentially follow up and have them join, it reduces the chance of them joining. This is just the sales tactic and understanding of how sales works. If they go a week later, they may not even be thinking about it. They may forget about it. They might not even want to join at that point. So whenever people are enthusiastic, that's the best opportunity for you to be able to share with them about how to join, help them, make it as easy as you can for them to be able to join. And then, of course, follow up. So follow up is key because it demonstrates that you care about that person on an individual basis. It demonstrates to them that that's the kind of service that they're going to get from the members of that particular club. And that's also an opportunity to make sure that you are able to maximize your opportunity to gain that guest as a member versus not talking to them for another week or thinking that, oh, well, they'll come back to the next meeting in a week or two, and then they forget about it and they don't show up, or they get busy and they never come back. So follow-up is real key. And last of all is once they are a member, then you want to give them the best support that you can through mentorship, through guidance, so that they start moving down the path of taking on roles, doing their icebreaker, so that way whenever a guest comes to visit, then they can talk to that most recent member, and that most recent member can let them know, yes, this is a great experience. I'm already gaining value from this. I would encourage you to join as well. So that's a summary of some of the tips. There's more detail to some of the information that I talk about within the presentations that I've done before. So if you are interested in learning more, feel free to send me a message in that chat. Look for some information from the district. And if you want to check on the Facebook page or the District 56 Facebook page, and I'll post that information on there. Cassie, back to you, Cassie.
Thank you, Javier. Let's give Javier a round of applause. Now, do we have any questions for our panelists?
How about we do a little polling to get a feel for the member or the guests that we have here today? Are there which clubs are closed clubs versus open clubs, and maybe how, if you want to post in the chat, how many members do you have currently within your club? Okay.
25.
We have some clubs that are larger clubs. We have some clubs that are smaller in terms of membership, and so each one of those has a different challenge to the membership growth.
I'm curious to see if anyone here has success stories of their own that they would like to share.
I know most of the folks here run very successful clubs, but really we would like to know any kind of success story that you want to share, some unique situations where one of your members presented to you, and then we would love to know all that wealth of knowledge. Pam seems off camera. Come on, Pam.
You know, I'm not going to turn down an opportunity to speak. Once upon a time, there was a club in downtown Houston named Firm Speakers. A storm hit downtown, and a lot of our members were sent to alternate locations. I came to a meeting and there were only 2 members, myself and the vice president membership. We had a guest. We spent the entire meeting orienting that guest on Toastmasters. So we had a really nice member orientation session with this member. And they ended up joining the club. The next meeting, I was the only member that showed up. I went to the meeting, I set up the room. I called for a 5-minute recess. I reconvened at the meeting 5 minutes later and waited for about 40 minutes. Since no one showed up, I adjourned the meeting, came back home. Now I have to drive 30 minutes to get to downtown Houston. Came back home and wrote a really nice message to the club that says, the meeting was called to order. We took a recess and adjourned the meeting early. There was 1 member in attendance, no guests. It's really not the same without you. Please show up next Tuesday for our meeting. So next meeting, we had some more people there and the attendance started to grow back, especially since some of the members that had been relocated came back downtown. But it just goes to show you, no matter what, somebody needs to show up. You don't cancel the meeting. You might have a guest and that guest may become a member. So when you think that you don't have anybody signed up for your agenda and it's time to cancel a meeting, think again. Have the meeting anyway.
Toastmaster way of doing it. Thanks, Pam. I think Lark had something to share. Lark, please.
Yeah, and I think that's a valuable point because you never know who that one person is that brings in 5 other people. There's some people are very good, well connected. They're good networking people, or they might be a part of another organization that is also looking for people. So yeah, to Pam's point, every new guest is a potential fountain of future guests and members.
Yeah, absolutely. I have a similar story. We had two officers and two guests at a meeting, and then we revived that club. So at least it wasn't just one person, but that's a great story, Pam, and what a beautiful way to approach that. So I do want to talk about corporate clubs. I think it is so important that every single club that is sponsored by a corporation has corporate champions. And I like to call them corporate champions, whatever you want to call them, but essentially individuals who are not members of the club, but they are senior leaders within that corporation. And I always talk about the club here in Austin that I chartered almost 30 years ago, and they have 3 corporate champions. I think it is very valuable to have more than one corporate champion. And those 3 corporate champions are from 3 different business units within the corporation. And to be sure that if one of those leaves the company or moves on to another role, that you always replace that person and you communicate with those corporate champions on a regular basis. And I think I mentioned this the other night in one of my presentations, is that the way that they do it, which is the simplest way to do it, is their vice president of public relations does put out a weekly newsletter that is simply a picture of the club, but that they take a digital photograph and then states what the club did at that meeting. And they send it out to every member and they send it out to the corporate champions. So every single week, those corporate champions are getting a message from the club stating the value of that club to that corporation. But other things that we need to do, especially in the corporate club environment, is what are you doing along with making sure that those employees are gaining communication and leadership capabilities. But when you think about a corporation and how large a corporation is, there are so many employees within that corporation who are not being directly impacted by Toastmasters. So what are you doing to share the gold of Toastmasters and its values with the corporation? So are you conducting lunch and learns? Are you conducting workshops for the corporation where anyone within the corporation can attend? So we need to give back to the corporation that is giving to us. So I want you to think about that. How can you maintain visibility with corporate champions, but how can you maintain visibility with the entire corporation by giving back to that corporation? A couple of other thoughts. So if you're a member of a corporation that has multiple locations, but guess what? That corporation does not have a Toastmasters club at all of those locations. So what type of PR are you doing to bring in employees from those other locations? Or what are you doing to charter multiple clubs within that corporate environment? If it is a global corporation, then guess what? What locations do not have Toastmasters clubs? And again, are you bringing them in as members, or are you helping to charter new Toastmasters clubs to share the gold, more gold around the world? So those are just a couple of thoughts. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Lark.
Amen, Lark.
Yeah, a couple of other things also are, even though a person may not be interested in Toastmasters that you're talking to them about, they may know other people. So always ask for referrals as well. Always say, hey, if you know that this is valuable for somebody else, let them know, because they might not be the one that joins your club, but it might be somebody else that they know. And along the same line of thought, if they tell you, well, I can't meet during your meeting time, guess what? During this conference, you network with a ton of other clubs that meet at other times. So don't let a member or guests that may be interested in joining Toastmasters, but they can't join your club, not give them the opportunity to join another club. So let them know about the other clubs that are available, because they may be able to join another club, and somebody else that's gone through that experience may refer somebody to your club. So it's always good to talk about, the referrals and the opportunities that are there to join the worldwide organization that is Toastmasters International, especially now with our situation of being able to do virtual meetings. Does anybody have any success stories about the transition from into the virtual world and how they were able to successfully gain members through the virtual environment?
Courtney, can you share your success story?
I believe Lark wanted to say something again.
Well, let's have Courtney talk first. I'll just
Okay.
share something if
Great.
there's no one else. Thanks.
Lark, please go ahead. Our VPM is Avi, and he gave a great recount earlier in today's event about how we recruited members through the pandemic. So please take it away.
Well, I just want to be sure that everyone is visiting clubs around the world. So this is such an incredible opportunity to visit clubs in every country around the world. Our international president is doing it, and I just hope that all of you are doing it. And by the way, holding joint meetings with clubs around the world. So having your club visit clubs, again, I mentioned this in one of my presentations, but there is no greater opportunity than there is today to do that. And by visiting those clubs, they visit you. And again, the comment that Javier said, ask. I cannot tell you, I totally agree with you. I have visited clubs around the world, and it's only been a handful of times that they've even mentioned membership. Not only to me, but to anybody. So they thank the guests for coming, but they never say anything about joining. But this is a global opportunity for us. And as I said, one of my clubs, I'm the sergeant at arms, and we are visiting clubs around the world, and we are conducting joint meetings with clubs around the world. There will never be a better opportunity than there is today. So please do that. Learn from other clubs, share your goal with them, and have them share their goal with you. Golden opportunities abound in our organization every single day, every minute of every single day. Can you tell I'm passionate? Sorry, guys, you're waking me up.
Yeah, I thought, Lark, you were ready to go to bed, but I think you're reinvigorated.
Thank you, Lark, for sharing. I want to thank everyone for sharing their story. It's such a success to attract new members. For me, I know that when we attract new members, we invite our family and friends, and just having them to come and look at one of these contests that they're doing, like the table topics contests that they're doing, or whether there's a lip sync, and individuals started to see the interest in Toastmasters. So Toastmasters is actually great. Toastmasters have actually helped me a lot in my life as of today. Do we have anyone else that want to share something, a success story about Toastmasters?
I'll say something.
Go ahead, Luis.
I belong to two of the Spanish clubs, Pensadores de Houston and Mente Abierta. But I also joined Pensadores Northwest, which is the third Spanish club. Pensadores Northwest has joined meetings with a club in Colombia, and they've done it maybe twice. They follow what they do in Colombia, and Colombians liked what we did here. So we've shared ideas, and they apply these things to their clubs. So they've sort of here, the Northwest has changed things, or the way they used to do it, the way they learned from Pensadores de Houston. So that's something new and something they are enjoying now. Now, we also have people come from Mexico. We have had people join our clubs from Mexico, both Mente Abierta and Pensadores de Houston. Pensadores de Houston has many members, but Mente Abierta and Northwest only have 16 each. So we need to get more Hispanic people. And it's been difficult. I am the VP PR, and I try my best. I use Facebook. I do interviews. I do invitations every week, but I don't think we've ever gotten anyone from Facebook who's seen our advertisement in Facebook. But we're working on it, and I think we'll do better. I'll be the VPE for Mente Abierta next term, and I'll try my best to bring in people and teach them and keep the club growing. Back to you.
Thank you. Thank you, Charla.
Hi, everyone. I hope everyone can hear me. I'm using my phone right now. So I wanted to say, and especially to you, Luz, one of the things that medically speaking, one of our Toastmasters clubs here did is that they partnered with the Latin medical students of Houston. They partnered with them and had, during one of their events, they had we had a booth at one of their events, which was so wonderful. So a booth was set up and all of their students could come meet us, and then that could really help prepare them for when they're ready to speak, when they're ready to grow. And then look at how with medically speaking, they were thinking, and Diane Nino, her wonderful suggestion to invite the club growth team, Toastmasters was able to reach in and touch this young group of individuals that are just stepping off into their career path that really know the value of speaking. So I thought that was a wonderful opportunity for us to be engaging with the community and to let them know we can help you become and speak confidently and become your best self. So that's some of the things that we definitely want to do. And this was aimed right at Latin American students. So hopefully we'll be reaching out to everyone, because I love that Toastmasters is inclusive and we're an international organization. Thank you.
Thanks, Charla. I want to personally thank everyone for attending this session. Also, I want to thank all the dignitaries that's actually attending the session as well. Thank you for your presence. I want to thank Avi, Elizabeth, and Javier for sharing their story. And can everyone give them a round of applause for great information that they shared tonight? And before we leave tonight, I did post the survey. If everyone can please take the survey to discuss the survey for us, that would be greatly appreciated. And after this meeting, there is a karaoke session that's going on. So you are all encouraged and invited to attend the karaoke. If you didn't get a chance to attend the District 56 You Got Talent, please attend the karaoke session.
Cassie, could you post that link again for the survey?
Sure.
Yeah, that's a good point, Lark. There's tons of resources that are available through the Toastmasters.org website. There's a lot of resources that our own District 56 has put on the ToastmastersHouston.com website. So take advantage of all that and take advantage of the resources that Elizabeth shared as well, because that's a wealth of knowledge.
Golden job, all of you. Really, really fabulous ideas.
Okay. Well, we'll stick around for a little bit if anybody has any questions or wants to talk to us in any more detail.
Thank you, everyone. It's great to see everyone here.
Thanks again, everyone, for attending.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night, everyone. It's
Night,
been
everyone.
pure gold. Good night.
See you in the morning.
Yes, see you in the morning.
Day 4.
Goodbye, everyone. Thank you for your tips. And Cassie, thank you for facilitating. It was really great. All the posts, all of the comments. So thank you, Javier, Elizabeth, and Avi, and Luz. Nice seeing you.
Thank you, Courtney.
Courtney.
Good job, guys.
Good job, guys. Cassie, thank you so much.